The screen fades in from darkness. A heartbeat echoes, slow and steady. Then, a soft female voice whispers in the wind. "Jamie." The sound fades, and we see endless Scottish moors under a stormy sky. A man stands alone on the hillside, holding an old, worn compass in his hand. The needle spins wildly, refusing to point north. Voiceover narrator. They said the stones had taken her. They said she was lost to time itself, but Henry never believed it. He knew somewhere, beyond centuries, Claire Fraser was still alive. A flash of lightning reveals ancient standing stones, tall, silent, glowing faintly. The man takes a step closer. Wind howls. The compass needle stops. It points straight at the stones. Voiceover. Tonight, the path between past and present will open again. The music swells, a haunting violin tune rising with thunder. A faint silhouette of a woman appears between the stones, her dress flowing like mist. Then darkness. A whisper. "Find me, Henry." Text on screen. Outlander Season 8. Henry finds CLI. A rain pours over the Scottish Highlands, washing the earth in silver light. The old standing stones, the same ones that once carried Claire through time, hum faintly beneath the storm. The air crackles with strange energy, like lightning searching for a place to strike. Henry Fraser, Jamie's great-grandson, stands before them, drenched but unshaken. His breath fogs in the cold air, his eyes fixed on the circle that had haunted his family's history for generations. For years. He studied every legend, every diary entry, every whispered tale about the stones. Most called it myth. Some said it was witchcraft, but Henry knew better. He had Claire's journal, the one she left behind before she vanished. Her last words had been written in hurried ink. "The past calls to me again. If I do not return, follow the compass." That compass, the one in his trembling hand, was now alive with motion. The needle spun faster, as if sensing the storm's energy. Lightning cracked above, lighting the stones like beacons in the dark. The ground trembled softly beneath his boots. Henry felt his heart race, not from fear, but from something deeper, a pull he couldn't explain, connection written in blood. Voiceover narrator. The Frasers have always been bound by time. From Jamie's war to Claire's disappearance, destiny has never loosened its grip on their name. But tonight, time itself begins to shift once more. As the wind howled, Henry stepped into the stone circle. A deep hum filled the air, ancient and alive. The compass needle stopped suddenly, pointing toward the tallest stone in the ring. He reached out, his fingers trembling as they touched its cold, wet surface. A flash of blue light burst from the stone, blinding him. For a heartbeat, everything went silent. No rain, no wind, no sound. Then whispers filled the air. Hundreds of voices overlapping, echoes of the past. Henry's knees buckled as visions flooded his mind. A battlefield. A red-haired man in armor, a woman's cry for help. The smell of smoke and blood, and then her face. Claire smiling through tears. Her voice echoed softly, "Find me." Henry gasped, falling backward into the mud, clutching his chest. When he looked up, the storm had stopped. The air was still. The stones glowed faintly, pulsing like a heartbeat. He knew now the stories were true. Time wasn't done with the Frasers. And Claire, she was still out there. Somewhere in the past, waiting. The storm had passed, but the air around the stones still whispered. Henry sat in silence, soaked and shaking, as if the rain had washed away the world he once knew. The compass in his hand no longer spun. It pulsed with a faint rhythmic glow, beating like a heart. Every flash of light seemed to echo through his veins. He pulled Claire's journal from his coat. Its pages nearly falling apart, the ink faded by time. Between two torn sheets, something new caught his eye. A folded piece of parchment that he had never seen before. It wasn't written in her hand. The letters were old, elegant, and signed with a name he'd only heard in whispers. James Fraser, voiceover narrator. The blood remembers. It carries what the mind forgets. And sometimes, it calls the living back to where it all began. Henry's eyes widened as he read Jamie's words. The letter spoke of a vision, a woman from another time, a healer with eyes full of fire and sorrow. Jamie had written about dreams that felt real, about hearing her voice in the wind long after she was gone. "If ever our blood finds her again," the letter said, "the stones will awaken, and she will return." Henry's breath hitched. It wasn't just destiny, it was a design. His family's bloodline was the key. Every generation, a thread had been left behind, a dream, a memory, a clue. His great-grandfather, his father, even his mother, all of them had felt something calling from beyond the veil of time. He turned the compass over. On the back, barely visible under the rust, was an engraving, "To find her. Follow the blood." Voiceover narrator. Jamie Fraser's love was more than a story. It was a promise written into time itself. A promise that no storm, no war, no death could silence. The screen darkens. The faint sound of bagpipes fades in, soft and haunting. Images flash an old battlefield, a sword buried in the dirt, a woman's hand clutching a locket with Claire's face inside. Henry closes the journal and looks back at the stones. The glow around them now flickers in rhythm with his heartbeat. He realizes what it means. Claire's return isn't just about fate, it's about blood, answering blood. He whispers under his breath, "It's me. I'm the one it's calling." The compass flares suddenly, bright as fire. The wind roars again, pulling at his coat. The stones begin to hum louder, their voices rising like a chorus. Henry grips the compass tighter, his face set with determination. For the first time, he isn't afraid. The camera circles him as the light grows, swallowing everything in gold. Voiceover narrator, in every heartbeat of a Fraser lies a story unfinished. But this time, the story will end where it began. The light fades, leaving only silence, the echo of Claire's voice, and the faint whisper of destiny moving once more. Dawn breaks slowly over the highlands. Mist crawls across the ground like a living thing, wrapping around the stones, hiding their glow. Henry walks away from the circle, the compass now steady in his hand, its light dim but still alive. Every few moments it flickers. Like it's guiding him somewhere unseen, he follows its pull through the fog. Across valleys soaked in dew, past the ruins of old stone walls and forgotten graves, each step feels heavier than the last, yet something in him keeps moving, a quiet voice whispering, "You're close." As the sun begins to rise, the compass needle stops. It points toward a hill cloaked in heather, where an ancient chapel stands, broken but still proud. Its roof has fallen, its doors hang loose, but the air around it hums with the same energy he felt near the stones. Voiceover narrator. When time hides its secrets, it buries them where faith once lived, and where love refused to die. Henry pushes the door open. Dust falls from the ceiling, and a flock of crows scatter into the sky. Inside, the light filters through shattered glass, painting the floor in strange colors. A faint echo drifts through the chapel. Not quite a sound, not quite silence. Something in between. He steps forward and freezes. On the altar lies a single object, a small silver locket, shaped like a teardrop. It's old, tarnished, but unmistakable. Henry's heart stops. He's seen this before in Claire's portrait, passed down through generations. The same locket she wore the day she vanished. He lifts it carefully, his hands trembling. Inside is a lock of hair, still golden, still real. And behind it, a folded scrap of parchment. The ink is faded, but the words are clear. To whoever finds this, I am alive. Henry stumbles backward, overwhelmed. His breath catches in his throat. The chapel suddenly feels alive, every stone vibrating, every shadow breathing. The sound of footsteps echoes faintly behind him, though he's alone. Voiceover narrator. The past doesn't just whisper. Sometimes it screams to be found. Henry spins around, the light from the broken window cutting across his face. He hears something, a woman's voice, distant yet familiar. Henry. He calls out, "Claire." The wind rises. The candles on the altar flicker to life on their own. One by one, forming a circle of flame. The air grows heavy, thick with memory in that circle of light. For the briefest second, he sees her, Claire, standing where the altar once stood, her eyes full of sorrow and hope. Then, she fades like smoke, leaving only the sound of her whisper, "You found me." Henry drops to his knees, clutching the locket to his chest. Tears mix with the dust on his face. He knows now that the stories weren't legends. She's real. She's here, trapped between centuries. It's calling out through time itself. Voiceover narrator. Some journeys begin with a map. Others begin with a heartbeat. The camera pulls back. The chapel glows faintly in the mist, the sound of bagpipes echoing in the distance. Henry stands slowly, his expression hardening into resolve. This isn't the end of his search. It's only the beginning. The chapel has fallen silent. The candle flames no longer flicker. They stand tall and still, burning without wind. Henry stands in the center of their light, his chest rising and falling in ragged breaths. The locket glows faintly in his palm, pulsing with that same rhythm he felt at the stones, one heartbeat calling to another. Across time, the sound returns first. A faint echo of footsteps, soft and deliberate, moving toward him from nowhere. Then the air thickens, trembling like water disturbed by an unseen hand. The light bends, colors shifting, warping, melting into gold. Henry's eyes widen as the world itself seems to tear open before him. Voiceover narrator. Some doors are not built of wood or stone. They're made of memory, and once they open, nothing can close them again. The golden mist curls upward, swirling into a figure. Slowly, a face emerges, familiar, graceful, and impossibly unchanged by time. Claire Fraser. Her hair glimmers under the fractured sunlight. Her eyes, that same storm gray, meet Henry's, filled with shock, disbelief, and the ache of recognition. She breathes softly, as if remembering how. Jamie. She whispers. Henry freezes. His voice breaks. "No, I'm Henry." The name hangs between them, fragile as glass. Claire steps closer, studying him, and for a heartbeat, her face softens. A tear glides down her cheek. Voiceover narrator. She had walked through centuries of silence, through war, loss, and fire. And yet love found a way to reach her again. The chapel walls glow with strange light, like time itself is folding around them. Henry takes a slow step forward, the compass glowing in his hand once more. Claire's gaze falls on it, and something inside her changes. "That was Jamie's," she whispers, her voice trembling. "He said it would find its way home." Henry nods. "It did, to me." The light grows brighter. The stones carved into the chapel walls begin to hum, low, powerful, ancient. Claire winces, as though the sound hurts her. The air ripples again, tugging at her dress, pulling her backward toward the altar. "Wait," Henry shouts. "Don't go, not again." But she only smiles. That same sad smile she gave Jamie before the war. "The past isn't done with me, Henry. Not yet." Voiceover narrator. Time doesn't break, it circles. And when it circles back, it demands a price. Henry rushes forward, reaching for her hand. Their fingers almost touch, just inches apart, when a burst of white light fills the chapel. The wind howls through the open roof. The candles extinguish at once. When the light fades, Claire is gone. Only the echo of her voice remains, whispering through the silence, "Find me where the rivers meet." Henry stands alone again, the compass in his hand glowing brighter than ever. He knows what she means. It's not just a place, it's a path. The next step in a story written before he was even born. Voiceover narrator. The past has awakened. And now, it's calling him home. The scene fades to black. Only the faint outline of the compass remains, beating like a heart. Marking the way forward through time, the night returns, heavy and restless. Clouds twist above the highlands as if the sky itself can feel what's coming. Henry stands on the same hill where it all began, the chapel now far behind him, hidden in fog. The compass burns hot in his hand, brighter with every beat. But this time, its light flickers, unstable, almost violent. He looks up. The stones are awake again. They pulse like living hearts, their glow spilling into the mist, painting the land in gold and shadow. The air hums with energy, the kind that makes your bones ache, the kind that feels wrong, voiceover narrator. When one soul crosses time, the world trembles. But when to do? Time begins to tear. The ground shudders beneath Henry's boots. He drops to his knees as visions burst inside his mind. Flashes of history, centuries colliding, redcoats marching through fire, Jamie's voice calling Claire's name, a baby crying under thunder. Faces he's never seen yet, somehow knows all of them Frasers. All trapped in the echo of time. He screams as the visions claw through him, leaving behind fragments of truth. The compass falls from his hand, its light splitting into shards across the grass. Then, but not peace. Out of the mist, a figure appears, cloaked, tall, moving with purpose. Henry steadies himself, heart pounding. The man steps closer, his face hidden beneath the hood. When he speaks, his voice is deep, heavy with centuries of pain. "You should not have come here," he says. "The stones remember every traveler, and they do not forgive." Henry frowns. "Who are you?" The figure lifts his head just enough for the light to catch a scar running down his face. His eyes burn with the same color as the stone's ancient gold. "I am what time left behind," the man answers. "And now you've awakened what should have slept." Voiceover narrator. Every gift from the past carries its curse. Every door to yesterday demands a sacrifice. The wind rises again, tearing through the heather. The man vanishes like smoke. Henry is left gasping, surrounded by whispering voices, ghosts of time travelers past. They swirl around him, their words sharp and broken. Undo what was done, before it breaks us all. The compass floats in midair, spinning violently before slamming back into Henry's chest with a flash of light. The energy knocks him backward, and suddenly the world around him changes. He's no longer in the present. The chapel stands tall again. The fields are alive with color. Smoke rises from distant cottages, the year it's centuries before his own. Voiceover narrator. He crossed time for love. But the past he enters is not the one she left behind. In the distance, Henry sees movement, soldiers, torches, and a familiar banner, the mark of the redcoats. And among them, a shadow that looks hauntingly like Jamie Fraser himself. Henry steps back, whispering, "This can't be real." But time once broken doesn't care what's real. It only remembers what must be repaid. Voiceover narrator. The war between fate and love has begun. And this time, time itself will fight back. The screen fades to black with a thunderclap. Only a single phrase echoes through the silence. "Find her." Before history finds you, smoke rises in slow motion, curling into the air like fading memories. The battlefield stretches before Henry, empty yet echoing with the sounds of the past, the clash of swords, the cries of men, the whispers of names lost to time. He stands among the ghosts of history, his clothes torn, his hands blood-stained, not with war, but with the cost of crossing centuries. Voiceover narrator. Love can bend time, but it cannot escape its price. The camera drifts around Henry. His eyes are hollow, yet burning with something unbroken. He looks toward the horizon, the same land Jamie once defended, the same sky Claire once vanished beneath. The air hums faintly, like a song from another lifetime. Then Henry speaks, not shouting, not whispering, but with the quiet strength of a man who has lost everything and still chooses to fight. "Henry," voice trembling, "I thought finding her would be enough. That if I could just bring her back, the story would finally end in peace. But I see now, love doesn't end. It repeats. It tests us, again and again, until we break or become something else." He takes a step forward. A gust of wind blows, scattering the ashes of time around him. The compass glows faintly in his hand, no longer guiding him, but warning him. "I've seen the faces of my family in these visions, Jamie, Claire, every soul that carried this blood. They all paid something. A life, a love, a memory." He lowers his head. The sound of Claire's voice echoes faintly in the background, repeating the same words from the chapel. Find me where the rivers meet. Voiceover narrator. He crossed time for her, but time demands its due. Henry closes his eyes, tears slipping through the dirt on his face. I can feel her, he whispers. She's close, but every step toward her pulls me further away from home. Maybe that's the lesson. Maybe love isn't about finding someone. It's about not letting go, even when the world demands it. Lightning cracks across the sky, revealing flashes, Claire's silhouette. The stones glowing, Jamie's shadow watching from another century. The music swells, slow strings rising into a storm of emotion. Voiceover. Narrator. He is the echo of their love, the last link in a chain forged by destiny. And if he fails, the circle will close forever. Henry lifts his head, his eyes wet but fierce. If time wants a fight, he says softly, it's got one, raises the compass high. The wind roars around him, pulling at the fabric of reality. Ghostly figures flicker, past and present colliding. For a moment, Claire's face appears in the storm, her hand reaching out. Their eyes meet across centuries. The light bursts, blinding, golden, endless. Voiceover narrator. Love is the one force time can't destroy, but it can make you prove it. Again and again. The camera pulls back. Henry standing at the center of a collapsing world, the compass blazing in his hand, his voice echoing across time. I will find you, Claire, even if I have to lose myself to do it. The storm has returned, but this time it's not made of clouds or rain. It's made of time itself. Winds of memory whip across the highlands, tearing through centuries in a blinding spiral of gold and shadow. The standing stones are alive, glowing, trembling, groaning as if the earth beneath them remembers every life ever lost to them.